Here's some proof, the power of laughter. Let me ask you this. The times that you've really have been laughing, right? Something's truly funny, especially those ones that hit your stomach, right? Those uncontrollable laughs or just simple laughs. Are you stressing about bills in that moment? Are you stressing about what's for dinner at that moment? When you're laughing, are you angry? Right? When you're laughing, you're truly laughing, something's funny. Are you anxious? Right? Is your anxiety going through the roof? Right? When you're laughing, are you worried about an argument that you had with someone recently? Okay, the reality is laughter brings a lot of positivity to our life, right? I'm really huge on comedy. I'm really huge on listening to people that make me laugh. You know, when you hear that laughter is medicine and laughter cures, and you know, you hear that laughter can change, you know, your energy at the moment, your whole day. Laughter can do a lot of good for you. You know, the reality is it's true, right? There's a lot of negative things that go away when we're laughing. So I make it a point as often as possible to laugh. Okay, I find comedians on YouTube. You know, I try to obviously laugh in person as much as possible. Sometimes I do some dumb things myself and laugh at myself, but I'm huge on definitely jumping on and finding comedians. Apparently I can't say it right today. People that I can laugh with that, you know, are sharing a lot of good information out there. You know, that perhaps if I'm not having the best of day, or if something's, you know, just not right at the moment, I know that I need to get some laughing in, right? I have a handful of people that I enjoy, and that pretty much immediately, as soon as I turn them on, you know, they bring a lot of laughter to my life. And to me, that's a lot of value. Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Matt Rife. I mean, I can just keep going on. Some comedians that aren't even with us anymore. I mean, there's people now, right now in my life, the moment I turn them on, it doesn't matter if I'm having a bad day. As soon as I start laughing, it's all over with, you know? Things just seem to be a lot better. And you can get into the proof of laughter, and you can get into all the studies that have been done. There's even been claims that people that have been sick, right, some serious illnesses, chose to laugh as much as possible. You know, they chose to, instead of worrying about dying, instead of worrying about negativity, they chose to laugh it up, right? And then there's claims of studies that have said that if we just smile, right, that there's just a change within us, right? So if you're just sitting there right now and you put a smile on your face, if you do it long enough, especially if you look in the mirror and you see how goofy you are, you start to laugh, right? There's something about just putting a smile on your face that brings change almost instantly, right? So, you know, if you want to look that stuff up, if you need proof, there's proof, or you can just trust it and do it. Find ways to laugh. Find those videos every day that will bring you out of these negative chapters, because when we're feeling certain ways, it leads us to think in certain ways, and those ways eventually become callous and somehow become our physical reality. You know, this certainly the way I think and what I believe, of course. But if you want to change what's going on around you, if you don't like it, if you're having a bad day, find something right now that's funny and literally put that on your phone every day to find something funny before you go to bed. sometimes I don't feel like laughing, right? Sometimes I have moments where I just kind of want to think about what's going on, but I force myself to turn something funny on, because the reality is if it's not going in the direction that I'd like, right? If something's not working out the way I want, it doesn't do me any good just to sit there and let it marinate any longer than it has to, right? So put it on your phone as a reminder. Try to do this daily, especially, if you work long, hard days, or you're sick, or you got stuff going on, give it a shot. Laugh as much as possible, especially laugh before bed. Okay? A lot of us got things going on. People are experiencing things in life, and it's rough. It stings, it sucks. But the laughing can make a difference. Trust me on this, right? You see someone down who's not doing well. If you're the right family member, the right friend, or even the right stranger in society, do your best to make them laugh. Do your best to bring some humor to the table, I don't want to let someone walk by. But yeah, laughter. Kind of lost my train of thought because it's been a few minutes, but imagine, have you ever been at a funeral where someone's passed away and everybody seems to talk about how much laughter was involved with this person, how much a comedian they were, right? How much they made you laugh, how funny they were, right? People always want to talk about the people that are funny, right? When we're kids, okay, we're younger, we're playing, we're having fun, we're laughing. We're not walking around angry. As we get older, life wants to callous you, your mind, everything you have going on. And one of the first things the enemy wants us to believe is that laughing doesn't matter, right? And that's false. That's a false sense of reality. Okay, we should be laughing as much as possible, right? This is why, some of us have so many childhood dreams, right, with friends, because we're laughing, we're playing. There's a lot of good that comes out of laughter, right? So make it a point, to help other people by laughing, cracking jokes. Everybody's got stuff they're going through, okay? Yeah, we can walk around and be negative. We can walk around and add fuel to the fire, but the reality is if you want to be remembered the most, help people lighten their load. Take some pressure off by helping them laugh. Okay, and it starts by your daily focus yourself. Find those videos and those things that you can get your hands on that just make you laugh, And like I said earlier, if you want the proof, go read on the research if you need it. But again, right now, put a smile on your face. Just keep that smile there, even if you're angry right now, right? Because that smile is going to make a huge difference. And, do your best to make this a practice every day. And, encourage other people to laugh and smile. If you enjoyed it, hope you got something out of it. I appreciate it. Share it with somebody if you think it'll add some value.